What would you do if your beloved dog suddenly stood up on two legs and walked like a human? What would you do if you heard giggling coming from the kennel instead of barking? And most terrifying of all, when you realize the thing sleeping at the foot of your bed is not your pet, but a mimic learning how to become you. From skinwalkers, infiltrating through doggy doors to apron-wearing dogmen in Chicago. Today, we face nature's ultimate betrayal. Before I open this file, I want to know where you are hiding. Leave a comment with your city or country below. Why? Because these creatures are no longer staying in the deep woods. They are migrating towards the city lights. Roll call. Now let's see if your location is in the red zone I'm about to warn you about. The transformation at the door. A TikTok video is spreading like wildfire, capturing a bizarre scene at a suburban home. The owner set up a camera to monitor his pet dog, but what stepped through the doggy door was no longer the familiar four-legged friend. Look closely at this creature. It is hairless, its skin wrinkled, revealing rippling muscles beneath a thin layer of flesh. Its skeletal structure has completely mutated. The front legs are excessively long with spindly, elongated fingers resembling human or primate hands rather than canine paws. Its eyes glow unnaturally shining with a mix of aggression and agony. Why would a house dog deform to this extent? One theory suggests this is a skinwalker in a failed transition. But looking at that gaunt frame and those haunting eyes, I suspect something far more terrifying. Perhaps this dog unwittingly made a pact with a dark entity. Did it trade its soft fur and cuteness for something else? Power or immortality to stay with its master forever? Whatever it was, the price paid has turned it into a monster within its own home. The Poodle Butcher, the post-work recording. This video was recovered from a phone discarded in an alleyway in Chicago, USA. The setting is a normal living room, but the protagonist is entirely aberrant. A creature with a human body stands in the center of the room, but its head belongs to a canine. Look at the attire. It wears a dark, long-sleeved shirt and a white apron, the kind used by butchers. On that white fabric are dark, splotchy stains, and judging by the density, I fear that is fresh blood spatter. The most ironic and terrifying detail lies in the breed of the dog face. It is not a fierce pit bull or Rottweiler, but a white, curly-haired standard poodle, a breed often associated with aristocracy and pampering. The contrast between the elegant, groomed look of the poodle head and the filthy, blood-stained apron creates a sense of supreme uncanniness. What is it doing? It is not attacking. It turned, on the camera stepped back and started dancing. It bobs its body to some invisible music in its head, appearing excited and satisfied. This behavior suggests it has just finished a job, perhaps disposing of a body, and is self-recording a video to celebrate the achievement. As it approaches the camera, in the final seconds, the soulless black eyes of that dog mask seem to say, "I'm done with him, and now it's your turn." The horned dogman variant, the artificial smile, a doorbell camera in the quiet suburbs of Black Mountain, North Carolina, captured a scene that defies all biological understanding. Standing on the porch at midnight is a seemingly normal golden retriever, but the entity holding its leash is the center of terror. Look closely at this creature. It bears the bipedal structure of a typical dogman, standing over 7 feet tall, broad shoulders, an elongated snout, and a body covered in matted pitch-black fur. However, this is not the common dogman type seen in Michigan or Wisconsin. The deviation lies atop its wolf-like skull. A pair of curved, gnarled horns, like those of a mountain goat, jut out. Combined with its glowing yellow eyes, it creates a hybrid appearance between predator and demon. When the creature tugs the leash to signal something absurd happens. The dogman bares its jagged teeth in a grin, and the golden retriever immediately mimics it. That is a human-like teeth-bearing smile revealing perfectly aligned white teeth that look fundamentally wrong. It is this illogical synchronization that makes me skeptical. Canine jaw anatomy does not allow for that type of smile. While the image of the horned dogman is striking the perfection of the lighting and the unrealistic facial muscle movements suggest this is likely a product of advanced artificial intelligence, I created to trigger our uncanny valley response rather than a real cryptid walking a dog, the intruder through the doggy door, the Suburban abomination. This home security footage was recorded in a remote U.S. suburban area where skinwalker legends still haunt the locals. The camera captures the doggy door swinging open, but what crawls through is no cute puppy. Look closely at the creature slithering onto the floor. It is completely naked, its skin pale and slick like a plucked chicken, and it possesses absolutely no ears. Its body is deformed with spindly limbs, yet it moves with such speed that the camera only catches a blur. Once inside, it doesn't sniff for food or a place to sleep. It frantically lunges straight at the person holding the camera. Close-up frames reveal a nightmarish face, sunken eye sockets, and notably a jaw filled with razor-sharp, jagged teeth ready to shred anything in its path. This is not a diseased or mutated dog. The aggressive behavior, the screeching noise, and the half-human, half-beast anatomy suggest this is a starving skinwalker or a miniature rake attempting to invade the home. Was the homeowner lucky? Or was this camera found next to a corpse? The answer is left hanging as the tape ends in chaotic screaming. The distorted return, the pale impostor. In a quiet neighborhood in Levittown, Pennsylvania, a sleepless man was constantly checking his security camera, hoping to spot his lost Great Dane. Initially, the front porch was completely empty. But then, from the right corner of the screen, his boy returned. Or at least something trying to play the part. Look at the creature stepping into the floodlight. It is the size of a large dog, but its body is sickly pale, so emaciated that its ribs and spine protrude through the thin skin. The most horrific detail lies in its limbs. Its front legs possess no paw pads or canine claws. Instead, they are massive hands with elongated spindly fingers splayed out gripping the concrete. Its face is long, gaunt, and lifeless, looking like a skin mask stretched too tightly over a skull. It approaches the door, stands motionless, and stares directly into the lens. Is this a monster from the woods that wandered into the city? Or, more terrifyingly, is this the lost dog itself having evolved or been possessed by a malevolent entity? The way it stands there displaying its deformed body with those monstrous human hands looks as if it wants to show off to its master. Look, I have returned with a much superior vessel, the barn abomination. A security camera monitoring a cattle barn of an American farmer recorded the intrusion of a creature science cannot yet name. In the ghostly green glow of night vision, we see a border collie barking frantically at something hanging onto a wooden ladder. Look closely at that creature. It possesses naked pale skin that looks so thin it feels like you could see right through it. Its anatomy is a monstrous patchwork. The gaunt body resembles a shaved dog, but its limbs are elongated and flexible like a monkey's. Most distinct is the head, featuring a long, pointed snout that looks like the beak of a mutated pelican. The border collie, a breed known for its intelligence and agility, is completely helpless against this intruder. The monster shows no fear or urgency. It clings to the ladder with terrifying endurance and flexibility, occasionally turning back to look at the dog with defiance. What is it? A chupacabra looking to drain livestock or a genetic experiment escaped from a lab? Whatever it is, it has turned this barn into its own playground. The long-haired demon, the kennel massacre. This is perhaps the most haunting clip of the night, not just for its violence but for its sheer sacrilege. In a family dog kennel in rural Kentucky, USA, An infrared camera captured a mother dog peacefully nursing her puppies. But that piece is torn apart by a creature I am compelled to call a female dogman. Look closely at the attacker's form. Unlike the muscle-bound dogman typically cited, this creature is pathetically emaciated. Its naked skin clings tight to its skeletal frame, exposing every rib and vertebrae like dull blades protruding from its back. Its limbs are grotesquely elongated, featuring digitigrade rear legs that allow it to pounce with terrifying speed. But the detail that chills the viewer to the bone is the hair. It possesses long, matted, stringy hair that drapes down, partially obscuring its bestial face, creating a horrific hybrid image between the ghost from The Ring and a feral wolf. Its actions are utterly ruthless. It does not stalk. It launches straight at the mother dog with a savage lunge, using its immense reach to pin the poor animal to the floor. As the puppies scatter in panic, this long-haired monster continues to crush its victim, its jagged jaws ready to tear the prey apart. Why attack a nursing mother? Is it the maddening hunger evident in that skeletal frame, or is this the twisted jealousy of a cursed soul towards a life that is loved? Cherno dog, the smile from the damp bathroom. This is one of the most iconic images of the internet underground, often referred to as Cherno dog. The setting is an old, filthy, and wet, white-tiled bathroom where a creature steps out of the shadows, making any dog lover shudder. Compare it to a normal dog. If this is a Borzoi Russian wolfhound, it is a cursed version. Its head is deathly pale, completely distinct from its dark body, creating the impression that it is wearing a mask made of bone or porcelain. The eyes are wide-staring, soulless, and unnaturally placed, while the elongated snout droops like melting wax, revealing a distorted frozen smile. Its body is emaciated and spindly, with limbs that are excessively long, moving unsteadily across the slippery floor. The contrast between the stark white head and the pitch-black body suggests a terrifying pathological theory. Perhaps this creature has contracted an unknown necrotic virus, or is suffering from severe radiation poisoning, as the name Chernobyl suggests. The disease may have corroded its flesh, turning it into a walking corpse rotting while still breathing, seeking the moisture of the bathroom to soothe the agony of its peeling skin. The good boy. This video starts like the warmest family footage you could imagine. The setting is a bright living room where a man is playing with his gorgeous golden retriever. The shimmering golden fur, the trusting brown eyes. It is the archetype of man's best friend. When the owner taps his shoulders, signaling a command, the dog obediently jumps up, placing its front paws on his shoulders in an affectionate hug. Absolute obedience. Everything is perfect, until the 15-second mark. The man says, "Smile," and reality warps. The dog doesn't pant happily like normal dogs do. It begins to twitch its facial muscles to execute the command. That lovely long snout deforms violently. The upper lip is pulled back excessively, exposing the entire gum line and white teeth at a biologically impossible angle. Its eyes roll back, widening, and losing all life, leaving only an empty void. For those 3 seconds, the creature hugging the man's shoulders is no longer a golden retriever. It looks like an entity wearing a loose dogskin mask attempting to mimic a human expression, but failing miserably. This is the perfect definition of the uncanny valley, when familiarity is twisted into absolute terror. Is it a skinwalker practicing, or a mimic that doesn't quite understand the anatomy of the animal it is impersonating? Walking in the shadows. Evolution or possession? Artificial smile is only the first step of mimicry. When animals starts learning our movements, that would be the end for the border between pet and demon. This video was recorded from the hallway of a house where darkness seems to swallow everything at the far end. The homeowner heard a strange noise and turned on the camera, but what emerged from the night was not a dog running on all fours. Look closely at the creature's gait. It appears to be a spaniel, but it is moving entirely on its hind legs. Unlike circus dogs that usually hop or strain to maintain balance for a few seconds, this animal walks with an eerie casualness and stability. Its spine is vertical, its head held high, and its front legs hang loose or tucked slightly resembling human arms. It maintains this posture for a considerable distance from the end of the hallway all the way to the living room, showing no signs of fatigue or loss of momentum. This is the exact gait often described in dogman reports, a twisted hybrid of a wolf's body and a human's stance. Why would it do this in the dark when no one is commanding it? This behavior evokes a chilling sense that this is not a trick. It looks like the thing inside the dog's body is practicing. It is testing the capabilities of its new vessel. And the most haunting question is, when the camera turns off, will it go back to being a good boy? Or will it stand up and walk to your bedside on two legs, the well guardian, the steroid husky? In a desolate plot of land near the forest edge in the American suburbs, a camera lens caught a creature emerging from an abandoned well. At first glance, it resembles a husky or malamute, but immediately your brain screams that something is very wrong. Observe its musculature. This is not the build of a sled dog. Its shoulders and forearms are abnormally developed, rippling and tense, as if injected with an overdose of steroids. Its hands, yes, I call them hands, because the fingers are long and dexterous, grip the stone rim of the well, tightly black claws digging deep into the crevices. But the most haunting aspect is the expression. Its eyes are glowing, bulging, with fully dilated pupils, radiating madness and bloodlust. When it opens its mouth to roar, the lower jaw unhinges, revealing gleaming white, razor-sharp fangs ready to crush the bones of anyone who dares approach. This dog does not look like a wild animal. It looks like a failed experiment discarded down the well, now clawing its way back to the surface for revenge. Or perhaps it is a Gévaudan-type dogman, a perfect killing machine forged by nature in the dark. The Desert Titan Pack, the AI logic error. This video takes us to a sun-drenched, dusty courtyard, possibly in the deserts of Nevada or Arizona. A man is casually feeding raw meat from a metal bucket to 4 colossal beasts. Look closely at these creatures to see a horrific deviation from nature. They resemble no dog breed that has ever existed on Earth. They are completely hairless, exposing pale gray skin that looks slick like rubber or wet clay, wrapping around absurdly rippling muscles. They are 3 to 4 times the size of a regular dog, possessing massive skulls and jagged teeth growing over one another with no biological order. They look more like mythical wargs stepping out of a legend than domestic pets. However, what makes this footage truly chilling is not the aggression, but its falseness. Look at the chain. A beast with an estimated weight of over 400 pounds and enough muscle power to tear apart a car is being held back by chains as thin as jewelry necklaces. By the laws of physics, a mere sneeze or a slight lunge for the meat should snap that chain instantly. Yet here, it remains perfectly taut. Furthermore, notice the lighting and shadows on their skin. It is too smooth, too perfect, lacking the grit of nature. This is a classic sign of artificial intelligence, AI. AI models can generate fear through shapes, but they often ignore the basic laws of physics regarding force and material strength. These dogs are digital nightmares, glitches of a computer dream, attempting to mimic the real world but failing miserably. The old man inside a dog, the Gene Mencken legend. At first glance, this is just a normal scene. A dog with matted beige fur sitting with its back turned on a sofa, looking tired, as if it has had a long day. But when it turns its head, any sense of cuteness or safety vanishes, replaced by a cold shiver running down your spine. Look deep into that face, It possesses none of the bone structure of a canine. Its eyes are large, round, and most importantly, they have visible white sclera, a human trait that dogs typically do not show. Its nose is not wet and pointed, but broad and fleshy like a human's. And the most haunting feature, a thick mustache and beard growing around its mouth, resembling a haggard old man burdened with worries. The expression on that hybrid visage is both soulless and seemingly filled with silent agony, an awareness that is too advanced for an animal. This creature immediately brings to mind the chilling Japanese urban legend of the Jinmenken human-faced dog, sinful souls, punished to live in beastly bodies while retaining human memories. Is this a product of inhumane genetic splicing, a hyper-realistic makeup job, or more terrifyingly, a trapped human being? The way it stares into the lens, its lips pursed as if wanting to speak but its throat only capable of a growl, makes us wonder, inside that shaggy fur, who is looking back at us. We have just walked through 13 pieces of evidence showing how thin the line is between animal and monster. Those twisted smiles, those unsteady steps on two legs. That is not evolution, that is possession. There is an ancient legend that says, if an animal starts acting like a human, it is because it is jealous of our soul. It watches it mimics, and it waits for the chance to take its master's place. So tonight, after you turn off this video and see your dog sitting in the dark corner of the room, ask yourself one question. Why is it staring at you like that? Why does its shadow on the wall look so strangely distorted? And if it bares its teeth and flashes a smile that is too human, do not smile back, do not call its name. Back away, lock your bedroom door, and pray that it hasn't learned how to turn the doorknob yet. Don't stop, don't trust the appearance. I'm John, file closed.